Friends, family, fans, what the hell is going on? And welcome to another freaking episode of Back Nine Bets, episode 47, Tony Time. Oh, yeah, it's Tony Time. It's going to be Tony Time. That's all I have to say about that. It's a great title. It's a very simple title. It's hopefully the title that takes us to the promised land. Tony Time, baby. Episode 47. So we are approaching 50. Gonna have to think of something fun to do for episode 50. Maybe some big ass giveaways. I'll work some overtime at work. Maybe sell a few other articles on the side to the black market. Who the hell knows? But till then, the people at rotoballer.com are sponsoring this podcast, and we might take a little bit of their money and give it to you guys because you guys are the reason why I can do this. So go check out rotoballer.com/radio. Get yourself 50% off. Use code MANIAC for another 10%. The whole shebang. Go check out all the premium stuff. I put out a whole bunch of free things. There's premium stuff out there, some great tools. Come join the Discord. It's starting to grow nicely and have some really good characters in there. It's been a fun time in the Discord. I've been up there until like 2 o'clock in the morning doing some Discord stuff. So please come join us at the Rotoballer team. That being said, folks, got two things to tell you. We'll start off with a little bit of a little negative, but not negative. It's a positive that we're taking account for what's going on. The last few weeks since the RSM Classic have been rather abysmal. I hope you really haven't been following the picks, but if you have, it is okay. You should be up if you've been doing it ever since we started this. That's okay. We have had a rough 3 weeks. We've lost 20 units in the last 3 weeks, which is brutal. It's one of the worst runs in golf betting I've ever had. That also is because I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. I've been not focusing entirely on golf betting. I've been focusing on writing about golf betting. I've been focusing on putting out podcasts about golf betting. And in the midst of doing all of that, we've lost a little bit of focus. So I'm making a promise to you, to myself, to everybody. We're going to take accountability for our thing and make sure we prepare and start getting this on track. Also, it's been through the fall swing. Not a lot of stats, not a lot of data, but I have been a little disappointed in some of the stuff I've done. Like last week, I chased everybody, all the outrights, all 8 of them. We bet top 20 or top 40. Only 2 of them hit. We lost 3 units on the placement market, even though we only bet a little bit. So, little tough times. Times are tough in the back nine bets world, but we're going to bounce back. We know we're going to. This is time that the stats kind of take over a little bit as we get a little bit more data. And this California swing is kind of brutal, though, because the strokes gain metrics are not available to us like half the time. So that is what it is. Now, the reason the golf bets haven't been amazing is because your boy got nominated for Fantasy Sports Writer of the Year. Fantasy Sports Golf Writer of the Year. It's an incredible nomination. I can't actually believe that it actually happened. I've been grinding away, back 9 bets. Breaking 100 is my baby that I submitted 3 different articles. I did the Open, I did the Houston Open, and I did the Mayakoba Classic. Those 3 articles somehow managed to get nominated as the 3 finalists. So that's why we're rocking the $100 bill shirt. It's a small victory in my world. Very appreciative of everybody that's helped me get to this point, everybody that's encouraged me, everybody that's guided me and just been there. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for that. It's a crazy achievement, something I totally didn't expect this year, and I'm very taken aback and very humbled by it. And just wanted to share that with you folks. So Breaking 100's out there doing wonderful things in the world, although it might be losing a little bit of money for us the last few weeks. We are up on the year, though. We are up all time. So that is the good part about all of this. So I just thought I'd share that stuff with you. A little real talk, a little salt and pepper, a little yin yang, good and bad, the whole shebang there. We got the Farmers Open this week. The Farmers Insurance Open is this week in San Diego. It's going to be a fun week. We got John Rahm coming off 2 freaking wins. The guy's absolutely crushing it right now. It's going to be tough. He's 3-1, 4-1 to win this golf tournament, which is insane. We don't often see that. So we kind of took it easy this week, just betting to return 10 times. And that's kind of our steady plotting that we do. We're not going to be chasing a winner, although it is Tony time, that being said. So Tony time it is. As you can see looking on the YouTube channel, We've got off the tee, 1% difference between tour average and what we see here. So I think that can be a little misleading. I do believe that we have to weight the model a little more for off the tee stuff, because it's a course that this accuracy bucket here that says it's 1% more correlatory to success than PGA Tour average might be a little misleading, because these fairways are so hard to hit. And if you aren't hitting them, you're in the rough. And I read an article today by Joseph L. I'm not going to even try and pronounce his last name. Just go type in Joseph L into Twitter and find him. He's fantastic. He's really knowledgeable about this stuff. And he mentioned that like the strokes gained 6 inches off the fairway is basically you lose the same amount of strokes if you're 60 feet off the fairway. Like as long as you don't hit it into a canyon or the marine layer, you're okay. So just bear that in mind. It says accuracy is important, but sometimes you just got to grab the bull by the horns and kind of crank up the settings. So we'll see what we have set for ourselves. Approach is always king, as you know that, but this week is not as much because everybody's coming out of the rough, right? So that's the thing. But when you are in the fairway, you got to capitalize on that. So we're going to still have a lot of approach in our model and see how things go. And then just short game. If the short game around the green, 4% more than tour average, which is important. So I'm going to go there. The proximity numbers, 125 to 200. It's about 60%, 59% there. It's a very popular range, 125 to 200. That's where you're going to see the majority of the shots from this week. Cool. Let's move on to the OG, Holy Grail. We've got ourselves, you're kind of getting 2023 stats into the model slowly. 82% of 2022 is still there. Course history, very important here. If you take a look at model Data Golf's kind of little skyscraper breakdown of course history, Torrey Pines is one of the more predictive courses for success if you've played here before and played well. So that's why we like ourselves at Tony. That's why John Rahm's numbers are so short, blah, blah, blah. So what we try to do, 40% total approach, 20% across the prorated proximity numbers, with the majority of them coming here from 125 to 200. Got a casual 12% just from those 3 boxes, buckets, proximity numbers, whatever the hell you want to call those things. Bermuda putting, that's not Bermuda, that's POA. I promise you that the numbers in here are POA. They are not Bermuda. 15% of our, I'm not even 15%. Where the hell are we seeing that? My computer's freezing on me. I'm rattled. It's been a week. Having this thing start on Wednesday is a goddamn nightmare, folks. I was up until like 2 o'clock writing articles this morning. So forgive me. Putting, a little bit of putting from 5 to 15 feet. Around the green, we want 5%. Out of the rough, we want 5%. Birdie or better, bogey avoidance, and par 5 scoring. All very important things to bear in mind this week. We've got 19% total driving, 12% off the tee, 4% accuracy, and then 3% distance. So that's the situation that we've got going on here. Let's take a peek at the model, folks. Let's take a peek at the model. I haven't even done the things that I need to do. We're going to actually just take accuracy and good drives gain and completely hide that because we don't give a crap about that. And then we're going to take some T40s out of here, kind of fiddle with the model in front of you. John Rahm, I had to crank up the off the tee stuff in order to get him as the number 1 golfer, albeit by a slight margin. John Rahm is a problem right now, folks. He's an absolute problem, and it's causing us major issues. So it's impossible to bet it outright when he's in the event, but I think we're going to have Tony win this thing. It's going to be epic. If we can see a Tony versus John Rahm battle with Tony becoming a victorious victor, we are struggling with the words today. Give me 2 seconds. I think Tony's going to do it. If you take a look at his power ranking, it's pretty close to the same as John Rahm's. And Tony Finau has also won 3 tournaments in the last 10. John Rahm has won 4 tournaments in the last 6, which is also ridiculous, but some of them were in the Euro world. We'll see. John Rahm, he's also been the absolute favorite to win this event many, many times. And I think in the last 5 years, he really hasn't won it. So I think he did win it the first time a long time ago. He has won, yeah, has played well, yeah, but he hasn't won it as many times as he should have, which is why we go into Tony Finau. I've been on like multiple different podcasts describing John Rahm and how we're going to approach him this week. At 11.6, at a course that limits the amount of people that you can see make the cut here because of the demands off the tee, because of the elite short game you need for when you miss the green. We're going to see a very special group of people make the cut here. You're not going to see a short hitter that's bad at chipping. I mean, typically those guys are good at around the greens, but you get my gist. There's a certain type of golfer that will excel here. And if you're playing Jon Rahm at $11,600, the amount of golfers that you have available to you that can succeed for your remaining salary is going to be severely handicapped. So going down to like a Colin Morikawa, who doesn't necessarily have the most amazing distance off the tee, but he's one of the most hyper accurate drivers in the world, might be a bit more beneficial. You can save $1,600 and then you've got like $300 extra per person to spend on the remaining guys. You don't want to have Jon Rahm in your lineup and have the guy that wins the tournament, but you've only got like 4 for 6s, 5 for 6s because all the 6K guys you chose didn't make the cut. That's kind of my philosophy. I did this approach with Jon Rahm. I had 100% of him at Mexico, and he absolutely won the tournament like we expected. But I didn't even win any money in DFS because all the other guys I picked were crap. So I'm leaving Jon Rahm. I'm fading him once again. We'll see. If he plays badly, wow, that would be amazing. But we're still okay taking our chances with like a Tony Finau. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he can win this event. If he finishes inside the top 5 and Jon Rahm wins this thing, it's still okay. That's fine because hopefully the other guys that we spend the remaining salary on will make up the deficit. It's a net holistic approach that we're taking to this week's event out in San Diego. Shout out to Ron Burgundy, aka Degenerate 75. I'm kind of thinking about him right now, so letting him know what's cooking. So we got that going on over there in whatchamacallit, and it's going to be a fun week. I love this. I love this event. It's got 2 different golf courses, the whole shebang. So Tony Finau, we've got him 14-1. I have no idea if the odds are still available out there. BetMGM 14-1, Tony Finau to win this freaking golf tournament. He has played magnificently here. He's really, really played good golf. Course history is so important. If you take a look at Tony's recent form, look at this. It's crazy. All of John's stuff has happened in Europe. So all of these are PGA Tour stats. They're not necessarily the best reflection of how John's playing, who's playing out of his mind. So I love Tony Finau, 14-1. I've seen a million Max Homa and Will Zalatoris tickets out there, which is giving me incredible amounts of FOMO. They're going to be 2 very popular DFS plays, but hey, we're going to roll with it. Tony Finau, we've planted our flag, and we're hoping for him to do what we hope Tony Finau can now do. The 3M, the Rocket Mortgage, and then the Houston Open. Like the Houston is a very decent comp, I would say. Like it's a very driver-orientated golf course that requires good driving of the ball, a long golf course with impeccable requirements around the green. Tony Finau absolutely crushed the field doing that. So if he can pull off what he did at the Houston this week, I'm not even going to wash this thing, not even going to throw it in the dryer that doesn't work because I've been grinding away doing golf stuff. Got to replace the dryer. Shout out to the missus who's got some good patience for me. But Tony Finau this week, let's rock and roll. Xander Schauffele also. I mean, so this is 50%. This was from last night. It's probably gone to about 40% now, looking at some recent updates. My computer's slow. It's been grinding too hard. It is what it is. So Xander Schauffele's next in the model, 3rd. He's also, I mean, he's very similar to Tony Finau. I didn't go with Xander. I don't know why. I think I got a better number on Tony and went with him. Also, I think Tony, having recently won at the Houston, kind of like that, I liked that kind of vibe from him. So that's kind of what we're doing with Tony. Justin Thomas is in the Xander. Justin Thomas is sitting 4th here, and you can see in the model rankings, JT's price is a little bit off compared to what we could expect. But also, like, JT's recent play hasn't been magnificent. Like, we typically see him messing around in the top 20 a lot, but lately it's been a little sketchy stuff from JT. So hopefully he can get his stuff figured out, but not this week. Maybe next time we get on him. He's going to be very popular. He's cheap. And I think you could see like a Jon Rahm, JT play, but I think a lot of people will probably be going like Jon Rahm, Max Homa, because a lot of outright tickets on Max Homa, and then jumping into like the 7K range and just living in that place. So if you're getting rid of John Rahm from your player pool and playing a like a Colin and a Xander and a Tony instead, we can live in this 8K range that we're going to get into. And as you can see, my model like really likes these guys from like 10 to 17th. A lot of these 8K range guys pop in there, which I'm totally okay kind of making different combinations of these dudes going forward. So Tony Finau, 14-1. He's going to win this golf tournament. We've got 2 other bets further down the board. That's what's cooking. Colin Morikawa, 5th in the model. Ball striking this season, incredible stuff. We saw what he got up to at the Century Tournament of Champions out in Hawaii, absolutely melting down. Maybe he comes back and bites John Rahm in the ass, but hopefully it's Tony. But if not, we'll take a Colin dub. That's what we don't want. John Rahm winning these damn things all the time, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. Colin's played nice golf at this place before. He's accurate off the tee. He's like very, very accurate off the tee, which is exactly what you're looking for at this venue. Even though we just mentioned that if you don't have elite distance, you have to have elite accuracy so that you can hit from the fairways, and he does. You don't want like mediocre accuracy, because missing the fairway by 6 inches is the same as missing by 60 feet. We've said this already. So Colin, I'm definitely playing him in DFS at 10,000. It saves you some nice salary, $1,600 on John Rahm. And we've seen his short game's kind of improved. I like him out of the rough more than I like him from like tight lies and things like that. I think you're going to see a lot of thick rough at Torrey this week and see what he can get up to. It could be an absolute implosion, but also it could land up finishing second behind Tony, which would be ideal. So that's what's cooking there. Colin Morikawa, 5th in the model. Willie Z and Max Homa, 2 very, very popular bets this week. 6th and 8th in the model. $97 and $9,100. I think Max is going to be very popular because $9,100 and people are looking to save salary after picking a really expensive John. That's kind of the vibe we're going there. So I just got done with the podcast with Spencer on Better Golf, the Better Golf podcast, which is an amazing pod that you should definitely go check out if you want to listen to more awesome stuff. And we spoke about Sungjae, and Spencer's very high on Sungjae, and he's 7th in the model, and he's going to be 10% less owned than a Willie Z this week or a Tony Finau. So we've seen Sungjae flirt around the top 10. His top 10 percentage is 26th in this 26% of the time he's finishing inside the top 10. Not nearly as much as the boys above him, like Willie Z and Justin Thomas finishing inside the top 10 44% of the time is quite something. But Willie Z coming off a back injury, you're going to be hitting out of some thick rough. The first 2 events that these Xander and Willie Z played, they both got back injuries. I think Willie Z is okay, but if you're looking at like Xander, if you're hitting out of thick rough with a back injury, it's completely different to hitting out of the rough from the Amex, where you're hitting off of like dry grass. It looks like it's your front yard. You need to have some sort of muscular like athleticism through impact. And if your back's hurting and you're hitting chopping grass, who knows how long you can do that for all week. So bear that in mind with Xander Schauffele. That's just a random alternative. I think I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more Tony and Colin than Xander. Sungjae Im, he's one of the under-owned guys in this range. He's 7th in the model, $9,300, 16-ish% owned, sitting right between Willie Z and Max Homa there. And I think that's the key, is all those 2 dudes are just zapping off all the ownership from him. And he sits in the model. Actually, I've got this thing backwards. Let's see what the heck we're doing here. Let's see where he actually figures out in the salary range. But he's sitting between Willie Z and Max Homa in the model rankings. Let's see what his actual salary ranking is, because that can kind of explain what's going on. And if this computer keeps lagging on me like this, I'm going to absolutely lose it. So Sungjae is above Max Homa, and he's slightly below Willie Z. So that makes a lot of sense. I understand why people are going there. But if you look at our model ranking, he's okay. And he's not significantly worse than either. He's not significantly better than either. Why aren't you playing Sungjae when you can play Willie Z or Max Homa? So that's the case there. Hideki Matsuyama is another character that we're going to be looking at. Max Homa, I'm absolutely in love with. I've got that Masters outright on him at 80-1. I think he's going to do great stuff at Augusta this year. I mean, what a crazy weekend he had at the Tournament of Champions. Everything about Max Homa gets my juices going, and that's okay. This week, we might might play a little bit of Max Homer, but he's a guy that I think a lot of people are going to be clicking John Rahm, Max Homer, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be a weird week of DFS, folks. Hideki Matsuyama, though, on the other hand, is sitting right underneath him, and he's a very good play out of the rough. He's a interesting character because a lot of people think he gets injured all the time, walking around massaging his neck the whole time. Hideki Matsuyama, just nonstop injury report situation, which drives his ownership through the floor. It's $9,000. If you want to sprinkle a little bit of Hideki into your lineups, nobody's telling you not to. Go check out the Better Golf Pod. We just got done talking about Hideki. I kind of made an excuse that I didn't want to play him at 12% ownership. Spencer might have talked me into playing him a little bit more. Somebody that we're definitely going to be playing is Keegan Bradley, folks. 10th in the model. Burnt us at Sony. I think he's going to be giving us a reasonable bounce back this week. The Sony Open was an enigma of an event. We had a lot of really good, the top 3 guys on the odds board, the top 3 guys in the DFS world all missed the cut. Hideki made it. Shout out to Hideki. Keegan missed the cut. But then we saw like Christian Bezuidenhout missed the cut in drastic and epic fashion. Come back to the Amex a week later and finished 11th. He was second going into Sunday. So the Sony is a very volatile event. We've seen the best players there have tough times. The struggle bus is real around the Hawaii world, where I'll be going for my honey, a five-year anniversary in a few weeks' time. So looking forward to going to Waikiki Beach and checking out the golf club there in Wailai. But Keegan, I think he's going to have a bounce back. His course history here is phenomenal. Very good course history for a guy that's struggled to putt typically. His putter really, really took off at the Players. We saw that change. He wasn't ever really spiking his putter prior to the Players. Since then, it's been very on and off. It hasn't been like a very consistent putting thing, but Keegan is a ball striking beast. He won at the Zozo, which is a golf course that you can compare to this venue. It's a long golf course with a lot of rough. And in order to make sure that you can take care of Keegan at 8%, $8,300, 10th in the model, and 70-1 at Bet Rivers, because we are betting Keegan Bradley to win this event. He just won the Zozo. He's a great ball striker. He plays good golf at this venue. And we've seen his putter can do some damage. It's no longer the Keegan of old. It's new Keegan, skinny Keegs. So Keegan Bradley's definitely going to be in the DFS player pool. He's definitely going to be an outright bet at 70-1. We've placed that bad boy already. Go check out Bet Rivers Enhanced Odds. And we bet him at plus 220 to top 20 this thing. So Keegan Bradley's in the mix. He's on the card. He's everywhere. If he has a bad week, we are screwed. I love his course history. I love his game. I love Keegan Bradley this week, folks. So there we go. There you have a Keegan Bradley moment. Adam Hadwin, $8,200, 7% owned, 11th in the model, sitting right underneath Keegan, plus 250 for a top 20. Adam Hadwin. If you take a look at Adam Hadwin's stuff, look at this approach play. Jesus, 8th in the field, awesome stuff recently. And I'm not necessarily thrilled about the weighted proximity numbers, but he's a very good iron player in general. He's got a very tidy short game, which I think the model is liking a lot. And his approach play recently is looking kind of sexy, folks. So that's what we're liking about a little Adam Hadwin here. He is 11th in the model, under-owned. I'm going to hang out in this little, if you just kind of take a look here, we got Adam Hadwin, Keegan Bradley, a little bit of Justin Rose. You know, like you can really make a nice balanced lineup with a lot of these guys in the 8K range, because I think 50, you got 833 when you start off with 6 golfers. So starting off with a guy that's underneath the average salary is only ideal. So you can easily go up to like a Max Homer at some point. So Adam Hadwin, plus 250 for a top 20. Absolutely love him. Let's check him out this week. I think he's going to do good stuff for us. I love him in DFS as well. Everything about Adam Hadwin is a go. Ben Taylor, 8 starts so far in 2023, and everything about his game has been phenomenal. He's got a really, really tidy short game, very good putting, very, very good putting. And his bogey avoidance rate it's been pretty good. For a $7,100 guy, I think we're going to go there. At 12%, that's 5% ownership, 7,100 smackaroos. Ben Taylor. let's check him out. I mean, in his 8 starts, he's got a safety plus top 10 rating that's sitting up here with like Tony Finau and the boys, which look, they've had 21 starts and 15 more starts and whatever. But hey, through 8 starts, this guy's finished inside the top 10 in 2 of them, which is not bad. He's made the cut in 88% of them, which I don't even know what the math is. Is that he's missed 7 out of 8. So yeah, he's only missed 1 cut so far. So let's go some Ben Taylor, absolutely. And then Aaron Badley at 7Ks, 13th in the model. Oh, I don't know. The weighted proximities are all jacked up, but he's played 15 rounds, so not terrible. And the the stats for Badley are just through the roof because he's been playing pretty good golf, but he hasn't been on a lot of. I don't even know what I'm talking about. The events he's played haven't been big events, and the sample size is super small, so it's kind of like really overreacting to what's going on. But we've seen guys with really good short game excel at this kind of course, aka Patrick Reed, who is now throwing tees at world number 1 Rory McIlroy. So RIP to Patrick Reed there. Moving down the leaderboard here, Siwoo Kim. We threw Andrew Putnam against him, hoping Siwoo would have a hangover bad round. Yeah, first round he had, crap. Second round, shoots 8 under par, beats Andrew Putnam by 2 by the end of the week. Shout out to Andrew Putnam for sucking on the back 9. It is what it is. We're going to have a reverse bounce back, folks. It's going to happen. We're going to have a good week this week. It's going to be a great week. It is going to be a great week. Siwoo Kim, 8% owned at this venue. Weighted proximity numbers, very nice. Par 5 scoring, very good. $8,900, under 10% owned, 14th in the model. Hello, let's go. I mean, this guy's game is definitely trending. I mean, look at the ball striking he's been having. Holy cow. So if you're looking for a ball striker who typically isn't the best putter, that's okay. We had a playoff between the 2 captains of Team No Putt with Will Zalatoris and Luke List. So this course can absolutely handle guys that don't putt well. And Siwoo is one of those dudes, 14th in the model, been playing great golf. I think he's riding a lot of momentum. He's got that broomstick buzzing, and we'll see what he can get up to. He's very tidy around the greens, out of the sand. He's not too shabby. We don't want easy courses. We want medium courses. So let's get this out of the way and do one of these things. Get medium and easy out of here. Da-da-da-da-da. And there we go. So let's take a look at Siwoo's medium. 48th, not terrible. So that's okay. Cameron Davis, very popular golfer, been letting people down lately. His game seems broken. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. Look at this. He's been top 10ing in like 20% of his starts, top 20ing in every third event he plays in. But recently he's just absolutely missed the cut in epic fashion. What is going on with his game? Are we going to go back to him? No, we're not. 10%, no bueno. We're going to roll with the Siwoo Kim instead. I think their games are like just going in 2 different worlds. Their trajectories are two different things right now. And we're going to go there. I'm out on Seth Theegala. I don't know why. I just am. It doesn't make sense looking at how many times he makes it inside the top 10. So maybe we change our mind about that. As I said, it's been a wild week, and Seth Theegala is one of those guys that's making my brain sizzle. So sitting down here, he's got 104% safety plus top 10 rating, which is very nice to look at. But he's just an interesting character. I don't know how does he do on medium courses. So 34th on medium courses, not too bad. Okay, Seth Theegala, contemplate him. We'll see how it goes. Jason Day, 17th in the model. 23% owned, sitting in the 20s. It's going to be nuts. He's trending in the right direction. His game looks good. He's going back to Torrey Pines where he plays very good golf. I'm not entirely sure what to make of Jason Day. I don't know if he's going to be a guy that we look at the end of the week and say everything looked great, but why was he 25% owned? Do we want to play a guy that's 25% owned when we can play like a Siwoo? It's an interesting situation. It is really interesting. Jason Day is going to be extremely popular this week. Play him at your own peril. It's going to be an interesting Can you see a lot of people clicking John Rahm, Jason Day this week? Holy cow. Sitting at like casual 60% ownership of two guys, where you can pretty much put a collection of 8K guys together for like a total of 60% ownership, which is an interesting way that I might be going this week. So that's kind of how I'm vibing. Jason Day, very popular, course history through the roof. And look at these approach play numbers since the last 24 rounds. They're fourth in the field, which it's looking like you can go that way, but if you want to play some Jason Day, make sure that you kind of trying to stay away from John Rahm, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. It is what it is. Maverick McNeely, Matthew Neesmith, two interesting characters. You had 18th and 19th in the model. Matthew Neesmith sitting at $7,100. The model loves him this week. Ball striking beast, absolutely loves the approach play. And then he's part of the team no putt. The guy doesn't have to putt through the roof in order to play well, yeah? And his medium course scoring is nice. We like to see that. $7,100, 5% owned. Let's go. 76% safety plus top 10 rating for a guy that's sitting at $7,100 is not too bad. Taylor Montgomery and Maverick McNeely, two very owned guys sitting at 19th and 20th in the model. Mav McNeely going back to California. We know how he can putt on POA. Guy grew up on that stuff. And his putting has been legit lately. Plays medium courses very nicely. Hits it a country mile for the most part. He's 39th in the field, so it's a decent distance. The approach play is a bit of a problem, but he's tidy around the greens. Got good short game. Makes a lot of birdies. Decent on the par fives. Absolutely looking for good scorers on the par fives this week. Let's take a moment to just really appreciate Taylor Montgomery. In 9 starts that I have recorded here, I don't know if I have the most recent Amex in here, who is, you can add that to 10, and then that would go up to like, I think 90. I don't know what the percentage is, but he has played through the roof. His putting is amazing. He played really good on medium courses when he was playing in the Corn Ferry, so that's not like weighted down to strength of field, but it's interesting that his putting is not the best in the field, but from 5 to 15 feet, he is the best in the field, and he makes a decent clip of birdies, and general putting is actually sitting at second. So everything about his game is very intriguing. I think he's a very safe play because he's always going to be putting well. He's like one of those guys like Cam Smith where he breaks my model where I don't have a lot of putting involved. If you take, do we even have that nearby? Yeah. Let's take a look. So yeah. So if you take a look at Taylor Montgomery, okay, we are going all the way off the page. So he's right over here, folks, sitting at a casual 29th row. If you look at him, when it comes to no putting, he's a negative in power rating. But if you go to putting, he's all the way at 107, which would slide him right like in the top 10. Yeah. So that's the crazy part about Taylor Montgomery is his putting is so good that it's constantly good. And if you don't weight putting in your model, he's not going to show up because his irons aren't very good. If you take a look at his iron play here, it takes him down from my general maniac thing and you emphasize putting by 20%, he goes down. So when you take birdies or better percentage, it goes up. When you go bogey avoidance, it goes up. When you go around the green, it goes up. Strokes gained putting, it goes up the most apart from birdie or better percentage. Par 5 scoring, it also goes up. So everything about his game, if you like par 5 scoring, if you like off the tee, if you like good putting here, if you like birdie or better percentage, also bogey avoidance. He's just so good. He makes a lot of birdies, makes minimal bogeys. Everything about his game is quite immaculate, apart from the approach play, which when you putt that well, it's like pretty much what Cam Smith was before he became the Cam Smith that went and won 3 times in 1 year when his approach play got even better and got like pretty good. Imagine Taylor Montgomery with a good approach play. Holy cow, folks. We'd have some problems. But I've mentioned this a few times on the shows that I've been on, and Taylor Montgomery is an elite player on this tour, I would say. But he's not an elite competitor. He's a great golfer, but I don't think his brain, his sports drive. There's people that get into contention and thrive under pressure and clutch up and make those putts and hit those shots. Just when they go balls to the wall, they take victory from the jaws of defeat. Taylor Montgomery is the opposite. Somehow, some way, he finds a way to mess it up. And he was easily the best Korn Ferry Tour player last year. He was number one when it came to strokes gained total. He was constantly inside the top 10. Not a single win on the Korn Ferry Tour. Now he's doing the exact same thing on the PGA Tour. It's really intriguing. And he's a top 20 factory, but I don't think he's going to win because we saw what happened on the second last hole. There was an island green and he hit a hosel rocket, just absolutely shanked it into the water, duffed it, whatever the hell you want to call it. Whenever he's close to the top of the leaderboard, he's kind of like Patrick Rogers, where it's just his game kind of whittles under pressure. And that's what happens sometimes when you have guys that are really good with putting. We saw Jon Rahm, who's been on an absolute heater. On Sunday, you're just a little more tense, and all it takes is your muscles to be just tightly more tense on the greens to miss the putt that typically lips in to lip out. And we saw John lose putting on Sunday last week. So when the thing that your game hinges on is putting, and then pressure gets applied to that, it's not the best. I don't think it's the best way to become the best player in the world. My opinion, use it how you want. But I don't think you'll be seeing me betting Taylor Montgomery to win a golf tournament. But we'll be betting him for like top 20s and top 10s, that's for sure. So I think he's plus money, plus 115 to top 20 this week. If we check, I don't think it's enough. There's enough good guys in this field that it's not enough value for us to get there. So that was a bit of a tangent on Taylor Montgomery. That's my take. I think he's a fantastic DFS play. I think he's going to be popular, and for a good reason. I mean, look at this. In 9 starts, 78% of his starts are top 20s. And if you take a look at this, like we go to the top 40s, he's got 78% of his top 40s, and then he's got 78% of top 20s. So every time he's inside the top 40, it's a top 20. It's not anywhere outside the top 20 when he's top 40, which is crazy. It's absolutely wild. Taylor Montgomery, folks, $9,200, 21% owned. I'm going to be playing him. I love him at this golf course. He's got immaculate length. I love his short game. The iron plays, it's whatever. We're going to take a page out of Cam Smith's book, and hopefully he can work on those irons. But he's going to be perfect. If he finishes second behind Tony Finau this week, that's exactly what we want. Emiliano Grillo is causing us some heartburn lately. 21st in the model. He withdrew from multiple events prior to the Sony. Then he missed the cut at the Sony, and then he missed the cut at the Amex. So Emiliano Grillo is breaking our hearts. He's not even retweeting my tweets anymore. I think he's blacklisted me on Twitter. He's muted me, or whatever you want to call it. Times are tough over here. So Emiliano Grillo, I don't even know if we're going to go to him. But if you look at his ball striking and weighted approach and whatever, it's not bad. But it just seems like his game is going in the opposite direction. Maybe he's like a full swing, Rocket Mortgage, 3M kind of guy, John Deere Classic kind of guy, not a Torrey Pines kind of guy. Torrey Pines. Gary Woodland rated out pretty well. His approach play has been kind of hot lately, 13th in the field in 2023 season, 9th in the field when you look at his ball striking in general. The guy absolutely launches it off the tee. Distance and off the tee are 12th and 21st. Great approach play. Not too shabby out of the sand, apparently. We'll see what's cooking there. But the short game is a major issue. But he's a premium ball striker, so that's what you're looking for here. You want a good ball striker. If you can have a good short game, that's even better. But if not, a good ball striker is good enough for a guy that's $7,400. 7% ownership's kind of pushing it, but 22nd in the model, we like him there, and we'll see what he can get up to. I like him as a fit here, and Gary Woodland is a guy. He's a guy. Let's talk about Justin Rose now. He's 23rd in the model, 10% owned, $8,100. I figured him and Jason Day would have very similar ownership. He's not getting that. And look at Justin Rose's putting lately. It's been incredible. He is a very good golfer at Torrey Pines. He's had multiple top 20s at this venue before. His game's kind of trending in the right direction. It's sitting at 19 strokes gained total for the year, Jason Day sitting at 11th in the field. So there's not that big of a difference in their recent form at all, but we've got like double the ownership with Jason Day over Justin Rose. They got pretty much the same course history. They both won at this venue before. What are we doing? Absolutely going to play some Justin Rose over Jason Day. $700 cheaper. I don't know. Either one could do well here. Jason Day's irons are obviously looking fantastic, but Justin Rose's short game is typically very reliable. And I think that's what we're looking for. He typically makes up there on the putting side of things. So if you take a look at Jason Day, 53rd, but he's going to Torrey Pines. Is his putting going to be better at Torrey? We don't know. That's the beautiful thing about golf betting. 23% of the field's going to find out how good Jason Day's putting is. So let's take a look-see. But I'm definitely playing some Justin Rose, absolutely going there at $8,100. Maybe a little Kurt Kitayama. Everything about, look at his ball striking. One of these guys, 44th in the model for ball striking in 2023. He's had 14 rounds, so it's not that many, but it looks like his stuff is coming in hot. Weighted proximity numbers, which takes these stats right here and it prorates them. So we take 20% of these numbers and it takes his proximity numbers from 150 to 175 and it applies it with 5% of 20%. So a quarter of his total proximity numbers are from 150 to 175. That's what the weighted proximity numbers mean. And if you take a look at where these guys are going to be hitting from the most often, Kurt Kitayama is 14th in the field. Justin Rose is 7th, folks. So that's what we love about Justin Rose. Absolutely love their proximity numbers. And Kurt's he's kind of flashy. When he's feeling it, things go well for him. He crushes it when he's around the green. He putts really well when he's in the mix. He's playing great golf out in Europe and Japan, wherever the hell he's been. Absolutely sends it off the tee. Guy's got some severe length. Everything about Kurt Kitayama makes a lot of sense here. So look at that distance, 20th in the field. So love some Kurt Kitayama. He's sitting at a casual 25th in the model. And then we got some Kevin Yu, folks. Kevin, not me, Kevin Yu. Like, what are we going to do here? 3%, $6,900. Kevin Yu, also one of these ball strikers, sitting casually 5th in the field with 27 rounds so far. So he's got a decent baseline of approach play and off the tee stuff. I mean, look at 6th and 30th in the field. $6,900. I don't even know why he's not highlighted. Let's highlight Kevin Yu. Absolutely going to play him if he's 3%. Mr. Ball Striker, Team No Putt, absolutely horrific putting stuff. Holy cow, it's bad. But remember, Will Zalatoris, Luke List, both were in the playoff last year. Both are horrific putters. Will Zalatoris putting from 5 to 15 feet, 108th in the field. Where's Luke List? Let's find some Luke List over here. He's all the way down here. What's going on? Luke List. $8,000, 8% owned, 5 to 15 feet. He's 154th in the field. What a disaster. Both of those guys pretty much won the golf tournament last year. So, Kevin Yu, why not? Let's go, Kevo. Let's go. Martin Laird, another guy that Spencer Aguiar is a big fan of. I'm on board with him too. Everything about his game seems very safe. Safety plus top 10 is 73rd for a guy that's sitting at $7,100. That's very, very nice. The majority of the work is coming from safety. So it doesn't have a lot of upside. He's only top 10 in 5% of his 22 starts, which ain't that good if you're looking to play him in a GPP, though. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin Yu, on the other hand, got a little more upside. Kurt Kitayama, a little more upside. But if you're looking for a little bit of safety, I think the 6-for-6 cut rate, or the cut sweats and 6-for-6s, lineups that have 6 golfers that made the cut, there we go, are going to be slim this week. If you're playing Jon Rahm at the top and you're clicking on some rando jabronis down here at the bottom, they're not going to be making a lot of cuts, folks. Like, the moment you start getting down into this range, you get to see like all this red, safety is down, like it's a dangerous world that you're living in when you're down in this bottom range. Yeah. So that's kind of the trade-off. You're going to do a balanced build, or you're going to tempt some of these guys to try and ruin your lineups and weekends. Let's take a look-see. Got some JJ Spahn love, $8,500, 32nd in the model. Model hasn't quite caught up to what he's doing lately. He's got 26 rounds, but if you take a look at his recent form, it's a lot better. He's been doing a lot better. Just putting that out there, okay? He's just doing a lot better. Just trust me about this. JJ Spawn, $8,500. Going to him. His weighted proximity numbers are not too shabby. And this is all baseline stuff. We've got 18% of our stuff is only coming from 2023. JJ Spawn was right in the mix at the Sony. He was right in the mix at the Tournament of Champions. So everything about JJ Spawn is looking really nice. So why are we not playing him yet? We're going to be playing him. $8,500, 9% owned. Let's go, JJ Spawn. Absolutely going to him. Scooting down the list. Where do we want to go? Yeah, Will Gordon, 10% owned. Absolutely crushing it, His safety rating, he missed. So I haven't got the safety in here for last week, but he missed the cut for the first time in 9 events. Will Gordon, look at this distance. 26th in the field. Pretty tidy around the sand stuff. Bogey avoidance is pretty damn good. That's probably why he doesn't miss too many cuts. $7,400, 10% owned. Whew. That's a bit of steep ownership there, but he's a great play. And I think if people are clicking Jon Rahm and Will Gordon, so be it. That's what, a casual 25% total ownership. But if we're going Tony Finau or Colin Morikawa, it's only like 15% average ownership. So if you're looking to play a Will Gordon, you've got to make sure that you're playing him in a way that makes sense, that you're not duplicating your lineups with half the world that's playing Jon Rahm. A lot of people are going to pivot to these people down here in the $7,400 range that are going to be safe. And the Jon Rahm players are going to need these people. So we're going to want to play them sparingly. They're going to be very popular. We'll see how it goes. Thomas Dietrich is another guy. Look at the safety. This guy's out here 7 events, 100% made cut rate, and T20ing at 71% clip. So absolutely love Thomas Dietrich. I think maybe I'll play him too. He's not terrible outside of Will Gordon either. Love to see some Thomas Dietrich stuff. Let's see what he can get up to. Everything about his game. Look at this medium course difficulty. Great stuff to see. He's very tidy when it comes. This is Keita Nakajima, who's also got barely any rounds. He's got 4 rounds so far. So his stats are a little skewed. But let's just mention Keita Nakajima here for shits and giggles. $6,500, 1% owned. You can make your own decision on him. His ratings are kind of goofy. Scooting down the board, let's go to 44th in the model, Hayden Buckley, runner-up at the Sony Open. Missed a playoff by 1 shot. He made a par on the final hole. This guy is so good off the tee. Ball striking in his 26 rounds so far in 2023 is 11th in the field. Off the tee, it's 2nd. Off the tee in 26 rounds, it's 2nd. The only guy beating him is Jon freaking Rahm, folks. So, Hayden Buckley is 110 to 1. I think he's 90 to 1 now on DraftKings. Go grab yourself a Hayden Buckley long shot. I love him here. He's in great form. Just finished T2. Took a week off. Digested what happened. Hopefully comes back with vengeance. He's $8,000 on DraftKings. He's 7% owned. I'm totally going to go there. At this course, if you're hitting from the fairway, because these fairways are so narrow, you have a major advantage not coming out of the cabbage. A major advantage. And his weighted proximity numbers aren't the best. But I tell you what, he's going to hit it closer than one of the best iron players if he's hitting from the fairway and the other guy's hitting from the rough. That's just how simple logic works. So why are you not playing Hayden Buckley this week when he's one of the best guys that's going to give him – he's starting on first base. Everything about his game, he's going to be in the middle of the fairway, a country mile down there. It's not like he hits it short and is down the fairway. He's like a very average driver of the golf ball distance-wise. Yet his off-the-tee strokes gained in 26 rounds is 2nd in the Farmers Insurance Open field, friends. So what are we doing with Hayden Buckley? We're absolutely smashing him. He's 90 to 1 out there. Go grab yourself a Hayden Buckley long shot if you haven't done so already. That's where we're going. Robbie Shelton, $7,200, another guy we want to eye out here. Everything about Robbie Shelton's game, very safe player. He's had 8 starts, 75% of them have been a cut. He's made the cut. Approach play, very, very nice. His distance is rather crap. So I don't know. Like, he's the opposite of Hayden Buckley. He's going to be hitting from the cabbage, but he's got really good approach play. So what are we going to be doing with that? He's also very tidy around the greens. So that's okay. It's not a terrible combination to have. If you've got bad approach play, but you're really sharp around these greens, you might not necessarily take advantage of that north course where you want to make a million birdies. But if you make the cut, you're going to be playing the south course 3 times in a row, which is very difficult. His bogey avoidance is 18th in the field. The guy's $7,200. So, difficult golf courses, play Robbie Shelton. That's what you want to do. 6%, $7,200. Go, Robbie, go. Alex Smalley, $6,200, 10% owned. Misprice, hello. So, John Rahm players, $6,200. Alex Smalley, Max Homer, John Rahm. Guarantee you're going to see a million of those lineups this week. Interesting character. Safety, not too shabby. 27 rounds. He's made 60% of his cuts. He's $6,200. We'll play him a little bit. Why not? Because he's evidently mispriced here. He's a great putter. He's fantastic off the tee for a guy that's this kind of a price. Let's go to some Alex Smalley. Yes, he's going to be through the roof, but guess what? We're not playing John Rahm. We're playing Tony Finau. We're playing Colin Morikawa. Alex Smalley and Colin Morikawa, total of 30% ownership. So that's okay. It's 10% less than John Rahm on his own. I'm cool with that. So that's the kind of vibes we're rolling with here. Kevin Streelman, Nick Hardy, 2 of my favorite guys, particularly Nick Hardy. Nick Hardy, 20 rounds, 20 tournaments so far. He's had 26 rounds. I'm talking nonsense here. Nick Hardy has made the cut in 60% of his 20 starts. He's had 26 rounds so far in 2023 season, and his approach play is 3rd in the field. Scrolling up the board here, approach play. Tony Finau is the best approach player in the field, and he's had 14 rounds. So the sample size is smaller than Nick Hardy's. Where the heck is the second guy? Hank Lebioda somehow has managed to luck box his way into some of the best approach stats you can find, which I guarantee you won't last for long. So let's call Nick Hardy the second best approach player in this field. We got Colin Morikawa even in this field, folks. He's 5th. So Nick Hardy, holy cow. If he can find himself getting a little lucky with some flat stick action, the around the green play is very, very bad, but he's typically a very good putter. When you look at his long-term stats, he plays medium courses very well because medium and difficult courses reward guys that are good ball strikers. The more difficult a venue is, the less you have to rely on your putter, the more you can lean on Nick Hardy's 3rd ranked approach play over the last 26 rounds. Hello. His distance off the tee, not bad. So hopefully he can get it together. I love Nick Hardy at $7,400. He's one of my favorite players. I want him in all my fantasy lineups. My wonderful co-host of the BetSperts show that we do grabbed him before me. I'm salty. Nick Hardy, $7,400 this week, 5% owned. Sign us the hell up. Where the heck are we going here with Sebastian Munoz? He's a great driver of the golf ball, typically hits it an average distance, but we're looking for guys that are going to reward themselves off the tee. We're getting into a range now it's sketchy. Sketchy stuff happens when you get down in the rankings of the 60s here. So Sebastian Munoz, who's going to put himself way down there in the fairway, we like that. He makes a lot of cuts. He's $7,500. Let's check ourselves a little Sebastian Munoz. Davis Thompson, what's he doing? $7,800. Just about took down John Rahm if it wasn't for the rogue flag stick that he left in there. Just kidding. Who knows? But look at the safety and top 10 rating. It's 100% for a guy that's 61st in the model, so it hasn't really caught up to his long-term baseline. Par 5 scoring, we absolutely know that that's what he does best, eagling like 5 million par 5s last week. Davis Thompson, 7% owned, $7,800. It's a guy that's in absolutely great form. Is he going to bounce back and play good golf this week, or is he licking his wounds still? I think he's a youngster. I think he's fresh on tour. I think the scar tissue hasn't necessarily built up that much. Let's check out a little Davis Thompson action here, folks. $7,800. If you're playing John Rahm and Davis Thompson at 7% owned, it's a different situation. Little Tony Finau, Colin Morikawa action, Davis Thompson, let's go. Like we can get these guys into our player pool because we're not going super chalky at the top with Johnny, which may or may not bite us. We've been fading him and it's been costing us, but holy cow, imagine a 40% owned John Rahm finishes like outside the top 20. That just opens up the entire, if he misses the cut, I mean, the chances are slim. But if a 40% John Rahm misses the cut by some godforsaken reason, who the heck knows? It's golf. He's got 2 kids. Mark Hubbard's kid dropped a knife in his foot. You never know what can happen the night before a tournament. You never know what happens over 4 days. Guy could eat a bad burrito. You never freaking know. So we're taking our chances. Hopefully it pays off. I doubt it, but we got to take our chances. 40% is wild. $11,600 is a ludicrous amount to pay for a guy. Justin Lowe is another guy I'm a big, big fan of. $6,900, 2% owned. Decent safety rating. Decent top 10. 25 rounds, folks. This is Justin Lowe we're talking about here. $6,900, I think it was $6,800 last week, made the cut. Was making an absolute charge up the leaderboard. He was inside the top 20. Double the par 3. Went all the way back down to like 40th. So Justin Lowe is a guy that you really want to get on your card. The distance is a problem, but if you look at his putting, it's not too bad. He's a good putter. So hopefully the around the green game, we'll see what he can get up to. I don't know if this course suits his game that well, but I'm a big fan of Justin Lowe as a golfer. Let's see what he can get up to. He's been playing really good golf in 2023. 28 rounds, he's 22nd in total strokes gained. $6,900, 2% owned. Yeah, let's go. Cool. Benny On. Very interesting cat. 8 starts. He's made 63% of his cuts. The short game, very, very good. Look at this around the green stuff for Benny On. Everything about his around the green play is rather impressive. He's got a really good short game, which for a guy that has the 12th best distance in the field, we got a bomber that's not necessarily the best approach player, but he's very, very good when it comes to chipping. The putting from 5 to 15 feet is a goddamn nightmare, but we've also seen Team No Putt, hashtag Willie Z and Luke List in the playoff, doing their thing. Benny On, $7,200, 3% owned. Let's see what he can get up to. Hits it so far. That's what we like here. I mean, T10, 13% of his starts. I mean, there's only 8, but hey, let's go. Wyndham Clark, very popular play. Obviously, look at this. Distance putting. Bang, bang. That's going to get you a casual 12% ownership tag at $7,900. Patton Kizzire, yes, this is a guy that's long-term stats are kind of lacking, but he's playing better golf lately. Since the Mayakoba Classic, things have been working okay for him. I've got him on my fantasy team, so I've been watching that, and he's been playing good golf. $7,100, 2% owned, Yahtzee, Patton Kizzire. Let's go. Doug Gim. Do we like Doug Gim? Yeah, I don't know if we like Doug Gim. Let's keep scooting down the board. Ryan Palmer is going to be very popular, I think, for a very good reason. His course history is fantastic at this venue. Why? I don't know. Like, there's nothing that tells us why. Like, nothing about his game is elite. He just plays well at Torrey Pines. That's just how it goes. That's golf. It's weird. It just is how it is. Rory Sabatini. Man. Ball striking, horrible. Short game, fantastic. Can you get yourself behind Rory Sabatini at 0% owned and $6,400? I'm kind of leaning that way. If you're going to have to get yourself into a pinch and you got to play a $6,400 guy, I might do a little Rory Sabatini. Peter Malnati, as well, has also finished inside the top 30 2 out of his last 2 starts at Torrey Pines. He's $6,300 and 0% owned. Give me some Peter Malnati. If you're going to take a gamble at these $6,300 guys, why not do a little Peter action? He made 60% of his cuts in 27 starts. So it's weird. It's a really weird thing that old Peter does, bucket at Pete, So that's what's cooking there with Pete. Going to keep scooting down the board here. Cameron Champ is very intriguing with his distance and all that, but I don't know. His game is all over the place, and he's trending in towards 3%, which I don't know. Don't know if we like that much. I wanted to chat about Ryan Brehm, one of the final guys we want to talk about this week. Ryan Brehm and Harry Higgs. Let's sign up Harry Higgs here as well. Look at Harry. before we get to Ryan Brem. They're basically the same person. Harry, just a little bit of a different vibe. Harry's got decent distance. Don't get me wrong. He's got decent distance, and his short game, look at this putting, is very, very good. His putting is fantastic. So if you can get Harry Higgs hitting at decent distances, making decent putts, $6,900. We saw what he was doing with his iron play at the Amex. Guy was making his way up the leaderboard. 12 birdies in one round? What? 12 birdies in one round. Unbelievable stuff. How do you make 12 birdies and then a double? So a casual, I think, 62 with 12 birdies and one double bogey. Unbelievable stuff. So Harry Higgs at $6,900, 1%. Definitely somebody I'm considering. And then we get ourselves Ryan Brem. If you take a look at Ryan Brem's recent performances since the year started, 2023 year, not the season, leading up to the Tournament of Champions, which he actually landed up playing in because he won an alternate event. So this guy can win a golf tournament. After he won that alternate event, he continued playing as badly as he was before, about to lose his tour card. Now, since the Tournament of Champions, the majority of his rounds have been positive. I'm not saying a whole majority of them. I think more than half have been positive. He's been gaining 2.5 strokes. Every single round prior to 2023, he was losing at least 1 stroke per round. Guy was sucking it up bad. This week at the Amex, he missed the cut, just imploding on the final day, but he gained 2.5 strokes in the first 2 rounds. He hits it very far too. His distance is 51st in the field. I think he actually had the longest drive at the Tournament of Champions. So he can actually put it out there. He's got good putting inside of 5 feet, which I don't think is that big of a deal. But if you're looking for a guy that has been playing horrifically bad and all of a sudden might have found something over Christmas, this is the guy, Ryan Brem, right here. So take it for what it's worth. Ryan Brem's going to be in my player pool. Very little bit, but he's going to be in there if I need a $6,300 dude. And then I would be remiss if I'd never mentioned Austin Cook. I have no idea where he is in my model, but Austin Cook is also $6,300 and he plays difficult golf courses very well. So that's that. Holy shit. 62 minutes into this thing. We rattled off a million different names. Hopefully you found some guys that you like. Tony Finau, 14-1. Keegan Bradley, 70-1. Hayden Buckley, 110-1. Still out there. There's 90s. Go grab a Hayden Buckley ticket. Go grab a Keegan Bradley ticket. And Tony Finau is going to win this goddamn tournament. It is Tony time. Go check out rotoballer.com. If you want all of our premium stuff, go check that out right there. Use code MANIAC for 10% off. And thanks for tuning in, folks. Love you all. Let's have ourselves a fantastic American Express. Let's have a good week. Enjoy some golfless Sunday. We're going to have a finish on a Saturday, which is very weird. I'm okay with that. Have a few beers and have to feel terrible on Monday. It's going to be a good time. And yeah, go check out my Twitter profile, The Model Maniac. All my stuff that I do there for Rotoball is out there. And that's it for this week. We got Tony time this week, and Linda Q is out. Thanks for joining.